everyone, it's Jenny B here, gambling in my kitchen again. Today's gamble, different. Holiday appetizers. Or hors d'oeuvres if you're fancy. It's beginning to look a lot like you're gonna gain 10 pounds. Seriously though, we cannot eat like this all year long. But during the holidays, we seem to almost make it a priority to do a complete criminal assault on our bodies. With that said, appetizers, they don't count, right? They're just tiny little bites. Anywho, all right, let's get to gambling on some different holiday appetizers. I mean, if I never see another bacon-wrapped water chestnut or a little hot dog in grape jelly ever again, I'll be okay. I mean, these are not Ina Garden recipes where you're gonna need the milk from those 8 maidens a-milking or a partridge in a pear tree. These are normal ingredients from a normal grocery. Okay. First up, fried, cheesy, meatball bombs. All right, let's go over these ingredients for these meatballs. I've got 1 pound of mild Italian sausage. I would have normally bought hot, but they didn't have any at the store. And then I've got 1 pound of 80/20 ground chuck, 1 cup of panko, no need to add milk here, 1 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. I've got 3 tablespoons of rehydrated minced onions. This is 3 tablespoons of the dried stuff with a couple of tablespoons of water. It's going to give you amazing moisture and flavor. Then we've got 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of Italian parsley, 1 tablespoon of chili flakes. We like it hot around here. Or you can pare it back a little bit. It's totally up to you. And then I've got 8 ounces here, but for the whole recipe I would use 16 ounces. But for demonstration purposes here today, I've got 8 ounces of low moisture mozzarella cheese. This is gonna give you that amazing, iconic cheese pull that we all wanna see. Last ingredient, we are gonna chop the top off a garlic head. We're gonna give it a good squeezer of some olive oil, and then we're gonna wrap it into a little package with satin foil. We're gonna roast this bad guy. Then, after about 15 minutes at 400 degrees, remove it from the oven, let it cool for a few minutes, unwrap and squeeze the cloves out onto a cutting board. See how, boop, boop. They should all squeeze out real nice right here. Then you're gonna take your knife and you're gonna smash them up real good. Look at that. I love to roast garlic almost every time I use it because it takes that raw garlic bite out of things and it caramelizes the sugars inside the garlic, so it's almost sweet. Oh yeah, look at that. Butter, almost like butter. Delicious. All those ingredients are gonna go right in here. Off with the rings and on with the glove. So yeah, I dumped all of my ingredients in with the meat except the cheese, of course. And we mixed until just incorporated. So don't overmix or you'll have dense meatballs. Once fully mixed, throw it in the fridge for about 30 minutes because while mixing, the fats start to melt a bit and you'll just have an easier time making the balls if it's chilled. Back on with the gloves. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy scooper here. I use it a lot for cookies, but today we're going to be using it to make sure all the meatballs will be uniform in size. Take the meat from the scoop And then you're gonna smash it a little bit. Then wrap your cheese around it. Take note to the size of the cheese here. These are gonna be really cheesy. Roll it in your hands, but again, gently, because you don't want tough meatballs. Make all your cheese-filled meatballs and set up a dredging assembly. Roll the balls in flour, dip it in the egg next, and then we're gonna cover it in panko. Easy as that. Try to keep one hand dry, one hand messy, and voila. Get yourself a heavy bottom pan with about 3 inches of oil and heat it up to about 375. I'm using canola oil today. And our goal is to fry them for about 3 minutes at 350 degrees. That's why I heat my oil to 375. The temp is eventually going to drop. So it's all heated and ready to go. Have a nice little bath, meaty balls. I'm setting my timer for 3 minutes. They won't take long, so pay attention. Move them around in the pot a couple of times just to make sure they don't stick. Also, make sure you have a pan out with a rack to keep them crispy. You don't want them sitting on a plate, so they're not sitting in a puddle of their own oil. Ooh, man, these are crispy. Oh, serve them up with some marinara and fresh shredded parmesan, some chopped parsley. Mmm. Yeehaw! I need a moment. Okay, appetizer number 2, Carne Asada bites. Mmm, who doesn't love Carne Asada? Okay, we're gonna start with marinating the meat. I've got a filet mignon here that I cut in half. It seems decadent here, but it's what I had in the freezer. Of course, you can use traditional meat like flank skirt, or we use tri-tip a lot. I trimmed it up a little bit, and I'm gonna cook these little bits up for the doggos. They don't know how lucky they are. For the marinade itself, I've got a half a cup of orange juice. To it, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of low sodium soy sauce. It seems like a lot, but this is the only salt we're using in this marinade. And yeah, this is not traditional. I know I'm gonna get roasted, but I'm a pinche huevita. Next, we're gonna add the juice of 1 lime and 1 lemon. We've got 1 teaspoon of oregano, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and they all go in. And then we've got 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. We've got 2 garlic cloves chopped, 1/2 of a jalapeno, also chopped. Give it 3 good squeezers of olive oil. We're gonna mix it all in with our fancy little piggy whisk. This recipe makes about 1.5 cups of marinade. Next, I'm going to score my meat. I like to do this, especially if I don't have a lot of time to marinate. You're gonna marinate this for however long you've got. I wouldn't go over 12 hours or so. The same magic the citrus does to tenderize the meat could easily break down the meat way too far. Close it on up, get the air out, and give it a good squish around. You're gonna marinate this for however long you've got. I've got my uncooked flour tortillas here. I buy them at Costco. I can't make them any better, so I use them all the time. You can totally cheat here. Use those little corn tortilla scoops or whatever. But in my house, we like flour. I'm gonna cut them into baby squares with my cutter here. I just like the shape they make. I can get about 3 squares out of 1 tortilla. Next, perforate them with a fork so they don't get huge bubbles in them when they bake. You won't be able to fill them with anything if that happens. Before you get them in the pan, throw them in the microwave for about 10 seconds so they're pliable. If you don't, they will crack and break. Now we're gonna put them in the pan. Aw, they look like little butterflies. How cute. Once the cups are ready, spray them with a little olive oil and give them a little salt bay action. Throw them in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. Easy peasy. Next, we're gonna get a little garnish going with some onions and cilantro. So grab an onion. I have a yellow one here. Cut it in half and peel it, of course. Now, I love onions, but they hate me. I mean, I know they'll cry, but I get a raging headache. So anyways, this isn't a kitchen flex. I'm not a professional. I just get to use professional things sometimes in my life. And thanks, hubby. So chop it. Next, we're gonna get a handful of cilantro. And the easiest way for me is to bunch it up into a messy cylinder just like this and chop away. You want them kind of small, you don't want big leaves in there. Add them to your onions. The juice of a whole lemon or lime, and give it a hefty pinch of kosher salt, probably about a half a teaspoon. Mix it up now and put it in the fridge for a while to let the flavors come together a bit. On to the beef. Get your pan ripping hot and add some olive oil. You can use your grill if you want, but I like my cast iron. Oh, listen to that. Yeah, that sounds really good. Sizzle. Hot, hot, hot. We're gonna go about 2.5 minutes aside. We're gonna move it around a little bit just to make sure it cooks evenly. And that's looking great. Wonderful. And now we're gonna add a little bit of the extra marinade to baste it with. I mean, shoot, extra flavor cannot hurt at all. We're gonna get it out of here. We gotta let it rest a few minutes. You have to. Otherwise, if you cut it too early, all the juices will come out. I cut it up into bite-sized pieces. We normally like our steaks pretty bloody around here, but for guests, I've got this steak cooked to medium. I think it gets approval. Oh, yes, babe. And, oh, Bear approves too. Okay, our baby tortilla cups are out of the oven. They're super crispy. Now to assemble. The beef goes in first. Probably about 4 or 5 pieces a piece. Then a little dollop of sour cream. Mmm. And finally, our onion and cilantro garnish. Yum-mo. Oh, yum. Okay, time to try these little carne asada bites. I already know what they taste like. We make carne asada in the summertime at least once a week. It's usually on a Saturday night. It's so easy. So aren't they little cute little things? Now the way I like it, it's a little bit of Cholula. One bite. All right, I'm trying to figure out, is this a 1-biter or a 2-biter? I don't know. I'm just gonna go for it. Mmm. Mmm. Yeah. It's a 2-biter. It really is. Tortillas are crunchy. Meat's super tender and super flavorful. The brightness from the onions and the cilantro and lemon. And then the little kick from the Cholula. It's a winner every time. Last but not least, fig, goat cheese, bacon, canapes.
Oh my.
Okay, this one sounds kind of fancy. And certainly, out of the 3 appetizers I'm showing you today, this is the fanciest of assemblies. But don't be scared, it's easy. When your guests rave about them, you'll be like, yeah, I made those. Okay, so we're gonna start with 1 10.5 ounce log of goat cheese, softened to room temp, real squishy. Fig is perfect for this time of year. You can use anything you want probably, but I can imagine apricot preserves or even honey. We've got ourselves some basil. You're gonna chop it up. And finally, some bacon. This happens to be my own bacon that I cured and smoked, but you can use any thick cut bacon here. I'll do a video later of how to make your own bacon. You will never buy it again at the store. It is the most delicious bacon you'll ever have. So I'm gonna cut it in, that looks like about a 1/2 inch there. And then we're gonna cut it into some cubes right here. And we're gonna fry that up later. Now, whipping the goat cheese is super easy. I have my electric hand mixer on the ready and my room temperature softened goat cheese. To it, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. And that's it. I'm gonna whip it until it looks like it could look like frosting. It's probably about 2 minutes. Oh my God, I'm a goof. So get a Ziploc bag. I've got my piping little thing in there. I've cut the tip off, but I'm out of pastry bags right now. So anyways, you're gonna use your cup as a tool to stand it up. And you're gonna start scooping your goat cheese into the cup. Smush it all down in there real good, then pull it out. And you're gonna give it a good squeeze. And you're ready to pipe. Now we're gonna get our bacon going. Cook it to your liking. I like it a little crispy, but not too crispy, like a little fatty still, but this is how I like it. You can see that. Scoop them out and put them on some paper towels. That's it. Oh yeah, sometimes I'm a ding dong. I got a little ahead of myself here, but I still have one to show you how to assemble these. Pipe a swirl of the whipped goat cheese onto any cracker you want. I have these. They're little Toll House sea salt pita crackers. I thought they had a cool shape. You're gonna put a tiny little piece of basil on there. You do not need much. And then on goes the fig. Put it next to the goat cheese. And the pièce de résistance, bacon. So pretty, so easy. Can you see that? I'm going. How do I describe this complete symphony that went on in my mouth? Wow. Crackers, crunchy. Figs, sweet. Basil, super fresh. Bacon, crispy and salty. I mean, the whole bite, everything, so much going on. Definitely a one-biter because you want to taste everything all at once. Man, that is a super winner. Well, that about wraps it up. This gamble is gonna pay off. 3 appetizers, a little bit of work, and happy and thankful guests. And if your guests aren't thankful and happy about it, kick them out. It's your house. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video. Bye for now, everyone. Remember, take a gamble, try a new recipe. You'll be glad you did. Cheers. Happy holidays, everyone.